I'll take you for a ride on the devil's ship. I'll take you for a ride where you sink or swim. Now come with me and let this story begin.
Ben Cardilli, or Benny from the block as you're known. Welcome to the podcast.
Vance calls me Ben Chili Cardilli.
Ben Chili. How you been, bro?
Really good.
You've been kicking some ass this summer.
I've been having an obscure amount of opportunities. Yeah,
I hear good things.
it's.
Well, I've seen good. I know you, but I mean, I've heard good things from people that didn't know I knew you. Made me happy.
Oh, thanks, buddy. It's a good feeling. You know?
Yeah, this Ben Cardilli kid's doing good.
He's doing something.
You feel like you're getting the stage time that you would need to practice and everything.
Yeah,
Now that
for
everything's
sure.
changed and there's actual mics all around.
Yeah, and I think it's the kind of thing where you got to create it for yourself. You know, like you always have to be. If ever you hit like a lull or something, I keep telling first timers and stuff. It's like, well, go find a shitty bar that suffers and make a room. And even if it sucks, it's great. You know, even if
you're
it sucks,
practicing.
it's like that's it. You just shred it out. You know.
It sucks,
Hit the
but you're
kinks.
gonna become better doing that shit.
Yeah, for sure. Like I spent the first year and a half of comedy just hosting one of these hell rooms, just like
Which
yelling
one?
at the fucking drunks. Well, now we're at McKibben's upstairs,
But that's nice.
but that's nice. But I started downstairs 10:30 at night, just whoever's left at the bar after the pub quiz. So it was like really funny because like we'd have this whole pub quiz audience and we'd have to walk them. So I'm trying to
They were
put-
so happy answering questions, and
Yeah.
they're like, "No, but leave for real."
It was like we would go up there right after the pub quiz was done, and you could tell like the regulars started getting the routine of, oh, these guys are starting now, maybe we should go. I don't know, he's gonna start yelling at my wife again, it's like we
last
had a
week,
nice
yeah.
time, but that's finished now. And then we'd get rid of that audience, and then all these comics would just be hanging out, and then eventually like a new audience would kind of filter in.
And they learned that this is where comedy happens.
Yeah, and it was sometimes we had these magical nights, but it was like we'd go till like 3 a.m. because like we'd have music too, because I can host a music mic too because I know the soundboard and stuff. So
But you play music, no?
I do play music.
What
So
do you play?
sometimes I'd have to play some songs myself. Like I'd sing and play guitar or whatever. So I'd do some covers when people were bored, and we'd have some really great musicians from around Montreal actually show up. Usually like later on at night after their bar shifts, they'd come in and
Hang.
they'd play some songs. So it was cool because it started as like a music open mic, and then toward later on at night, it would turn into like, like musicians would come in and people get into that vibe. And then, as the audiences would switch out, they like these new kids would come in and sit at the front tables, be like, we're into this, we're drunk enough, let's do it, And then it would like change the whole vibe. And then at the end of the night, sometimes like the most magical thing about it is like at the end of the night, the musicians would be done. There'd still be some people drunk enough there, just like lingering. And I'd go up and like do my first like 25-minute sets, like I would go
'Cause
and
you had the time.
exploit
Yeah.
the audience. Cause like, so I'd go up there and just start talking to people. And that was like where I actually got to practice like crowd work and stuff and have fun for like the first time. I was like just so new, but I was
No
just
pressure.
Like, fuck it. There was no pressure. Everyone's wasted. Everyone's tired and they were into it. It was fun.
And it made you comfortable.
Maybe very comfortable. Yeah.
How'd you get into comedy?
It's weird. I've always been like a fan, like not like a super fan. Like I didn't know like a lot of these obscure names and stuff. I was, in high school, I was listening to Delirious and like, I liked, remember Pablo Francisco?
I don't know why that rings a bell.
He's like that guy who used to do the voices like this summer.
Oh,
he used to do
yeah.
like the Kermit the Frog.
What happened to that guy?
I don't know. I was searching for him lately. I don't know if he's still doing it, but I mean, like that was a big thing. It was around the Dane Cook era. Like everyone loved the crazy voice guys.
And that wasn't that the beginning of YouTube clips where people would share a lot of shit? Yeah.
So it was like the first time my friends would be like, "Look at this guy. He's just talking, but it's great."
Yeah. Fuck, YouTube changed the game up in the beginning.
Yeah,
And it was
it was
random
nuts.
clips. Yeah.
It was pretty good. And so there was a couple guys like that I was like, oh, that's great. And then like later on, I was like listening to some like Mark Maron and stuff, and like, oh, this guy's, I like how angry he is at me.
He's mad at
This is
everything.
wonderful. And like the old like Lewis Black and all these guys. Like,
What happened to Lewis Black? I haven't seen him in a minute.
It's another one. Like these are guys that like these were my original idea of like stand up.
Oh,
Until like the
interesting, okay.
Louis C.K.'s, like my friends would be like, no, this guy's going to change your life though. He's going to tell you why you're a piece of shit. And it's like, oh, great.
Nice.
That's what I needed.
I've been waiting for someone.
My parents are beating me physically. I need some emotional abuse.
Yeah, I need someone. That's Louis' position. Okay.
So it was cool. But I was a musician for like 20 years, right?
I didn't know this. I want to talk about this.
Yeah, I was I was like playing in bands. Like this was like my dream as a kid. You know, I went into grade 7. The first thing I did was start a band and ignore everybody. And then
What kind of band? Heavy metal?
It was like pretty heavy. Yeah. Like we used to listen to like we were all like Limp Bizkit kids. I was like a little fat kid with like a fucking backwards calf, just being
Sideways
like,
a little too.
What's up? You know, like learning the guitar, but it barely fit on my stomach. You know,
Ma'am, I did it all for the nookie.
That's it. And she's like, excuse me, use nookie in a sentence.
Yeah.
Like, what is that? You know, it was fun, man. It was crazy. You know, I was pursuing music for a long time. Played in a lot of bands, like a million bands.
How come you kept bouncing from band to band? Maybe you're the problem, Ben.
I was the problem. I
oh,
found
really?
out that it wasn't
Attitude-wise or like quality-wise?
I immediately built like this is what I want to do. I have a big work ethic. We have to get this shit done. So like whenever like a band would hit a point where I feel like guys were just in it for the fun, I would just blow off the band and start a new one. Like I was just trying to get everybody on board with the, and so that was like the big dream. I was just like, I gotta fucking, like I love this. I want to play to a million people. I learned 4 chords and I'm like, I'm gonna be Green Day. Let's do it.
Okay, okay.
But then I learned, when I went into Vanier for jazz guitar, so I was doing, I was actually studying music for a while.
Made you a way better musician?
But yeah, I mean, it helps. You could say it helps. And, I was like singing a lot too and like trying to like, write songs. Like ever since I picked up guitar, I didn't even give a shit about learning it. I just wanted to write a song with it. So like I figured it out through writing songs, And I did this for like, so long. And I eventually got to like have some really cool opportunities where I joined this band. I was like joining bands that were already kind of like more established in the scene and started like jamming with older guys. So I was like touring Canada and, we had some music videos on Much Loud and stuff.
Oh, shit.
A band called Red October. We had like a lot of fun. We like opened for Protest the Hero at Warped Tour when they were here. It was crazy. It was a lot of fun. But then, like you get really serious into something and you go really far down a path and like your family's sitting around being like, okay, but like when is it gonna really something happen, and like you start getting that pressure. And then every time, you've been calling yourself a musician for 20 years and every time you're at a party, someone's like, you better be better than the fucking, and then like some kid picks up a guitar and doesn't even give a shit, but he's like really good too. And you're like, what the fuck? Like,
I'm like him, yeah. Except he doesn't say that he's a musician.
God, he's just doing it for the pussy and it works. You know? Like what the fuck?
So it was just, nothing was sticking.
I mean, yeah. And like, I was also very scattered. Like, like you see how the industry works and you see that like people, you discover after a while that people really do crave authenticity. And I think when I had started out, I had like this kind of voice and this whole thing that was myself, but eventually you start getting desperate and you start chasing what works and you start like jumping from sound to sound because like, oh, people are into this now, I'm going to try to do it, but it's never authentic.
So it's never the right time because it's not you.
Exactly. And like, or you could wait around for 30 years till it's the right time for you, and it's like, and I also, I went on La Voix, which was like a jarring experience.
The voice in French. Yeah,
exactly. And, I went on that and it was a jarring experience because like, just like the whole, I was still trying to search for like, okay, without a guitar, without anything, I'm just a singer. Like, what do I,
did you pass any of these rounds? Were you doing good there?
Yeah, I got to the quarterfinals,
Damn, okay.
And that's where like the small town people take over the show because once it gets to the voting rounds, like I was in a round of 3 and like 2 of us were from Montreal. Nobody in Montreal watches this shit at all, right? And then the other guy was from this tiny small town. Every single person comes
in
out to vote for this guy twice, so it's like the percentages were embarrassing.
Oh, fuck. Like, it's true. No one in Montreal, like I know the show, I know it exists. I've never watched an episode.
Yeah, it's nuts. So that was kind of like, but also just the behind the scenes and how like they don't really, they're really trying to market you for their viewership. They don't really, I don't want to shit on them, but they don't really care who you are.
That's all TV. That's how it is. They don't care.
It's like I never got that chance to, but and then I went right into working for a record label, and so those are like the 2 like major shock depression points of like learning about the music industry because like my job was literally like doing data entry and running around the internet pinching pennies for artists, and I was just like, oh shit, like after Spotify, like music is done. If you're not
making any money.
If you're on the indie side, it's like, it's insane. Like you can get 1 million views and make $3,000 or something, you know? It's like, you know, they've taken it away. So even all the bands that are like, all the old, like killing it in the 90s, living on the royalties, suddenly they have to come back and make new albums because they're like, fuck, we're done. You know, like we can't survive off what we're getting anymore. So
what did you see when you were working for the record label? Is there a road for young indie bands to make it now, or are they all fucked?
Well, it was weird because it was more of like an electronic label. So like it's kind of people that could really produce quickly, you know, and put out these different... and like the only thing that you can do to get like, it's like you got to get on Spotify playlists and stuff and try to like you got to end up on
How does
these
that
things.
help?
But then that's the thing, because like if you're listening to like I'm a kind of person, I like to listen to an album.
Yeah,
you know, I like
same.
to discover an artist, or if I discover a song, you know,
I want more from them, and
But
I want to see where it fits in the album.
Exactly. These are people that are very happy just updating the playlist, and they're never really going to go out and search for like the artist. Sometimes, you know, that's the way I feel. I don't know. Maybe I'm old. I don't know. But these kids, like, I don't see them really like, oh, that song is like, unless it's like, I feel like the best chance is if it's in like a TV show, or something.
They'll
you know?
look it up because they have no choice.
Yeah, like sometimes like the perfect song comes on as the credits hit, and you have the cliffhanger right before, and you got this feeling in you already, and then that song just like drives it home, and I'm just like, I've discovered 3 bands recently just from that kind of thing, you know, where it's like, oh, they already got you like amped up, and then they're just like, beep, 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 beep.
And then you're like, oh, who are these guys? What are they doing?
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy, man.
So, like, I know for comedy, I know how crazy the comedy game is and what it's turned into. And I think I entered comedy in the worst time possible, because I entered during that shift. So I entered when, like, in 2012, when around here at least, in Canada, when the clubs were still kind of deciding, like, the only way you could make money is by doing that stuff.
Yeah.
But they were losing power. So even though they could book you for something, there wasn't any real money. Like, you could do like a whole Canada tour of like, I think it was Yuck or something, and people were telling me about, in the end, they'll lose money.
Yeah.
So it was this weird like in between where, yeah, you could make it, but did you really make it if you can't pay your rent?
Yeah.
And it was that kind of scramble that pushed me towards the internet and podcasting and shit, and said, I got to do things myself, because it was at a very, very weird time. But now I noticed with music and with comedy, everyone pushes towards independent, like do things your way. Yeah. But I don't think the answer is Spotify, because Spotify doesn't really give you that much money as an artist at all. Sirius still does, Sirius XM, but it's hard to get on there.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't know for young bands, because you also got to split it 4 or 5 ways depending on how, like, apart from getting your name out there and touring.
It's a business that you have to have with 4 other people or 3 other people, whatever it is. It's like, it's tough, because these are, they're like some of your best friends, like your shitheads together. You're growing up doing, you know, like sometimes you know each other like all too well, but like you also have like these differences. Or like if it gets to a business situation, it'd be a difference to the way you'd approach these things. So you get into these big, it's like a marriage, you know, you get into these fights, you get into these like, you said that you were going to, you know, like
exactly. It's exactly that.
And you're not thinking about the fact that the minute it gets slightly serious, you're, you know, you're going to butt heads. Like maybe you don't know each other that well, or maybe you don't agree on certain things, or you have different understandings of how it works, and it really like gets between people. And you know, I had a lot of bands that broke up just because we couldn't figure it out.
It just didn't work.
Like we were great friends and we made cool music together, but then it was just like, all right, if we're gonna take it to the next level, we all have a different idea of where this is going, so fuck it. You know, it was kind of it was rough. But like, yeah, you're talking about the comedy community. You know, that's another thing is, you know, that's right. Like you went to the internet and did that. Like there is like people talk a lot about how like there's not a lot of money to be made doing stand up, and like if you know, I came from the music side, and there it was like you'd get like, you know, we'd be on tour, and like, you know, we'd get like $150 guarantee, and then we'd have to sell merch, and then like it all goes into the gas tank to get to the next city, and then like, you know, if we break even on a tour or whatever, like that's fantastic, successful. You know, like one time we had this crazy story where we basically walked around the West Edmonton Mall for like 6 hours and sold $1,200 CDs just with our iPods showing music to people.
Wow.
So we drove home from Edmonton. It was like nuts.
That's
like
pretty fucking...
the biggest success.
So you were just being like, hey, take a listen. And if you liked it, you're like, look, buy this fucking album from me?
Yeah. And it was like, you know, we had a pretty good album. It was like poppy. It was fun. It was like, at the time, it was kind of the sound. And like, there was a concert happening at the mall that night. So there's a lot of people that like that kind of music. just walking around the mall shopping before the show, and they were just like, oh shit. And then like at one point we came out of the mall. We were like, we had already sold a bunch, right? And this one kid that had bought our album, all these people lined up for the show. And this one kid that bought our album was like, hey man, can you sign our CD? And like, so we went up, like, all right, we signed the CD, and like everybody in the line just like, what? So
and
like,
then now
these guys, I think they thought we were on the show or something. So they're like, we'll take one. We just sold the rest of the line. Like,
oh, bro.
Insane. We were just sitting in the van, just like our shitty little beat up, horrible little like no air conditioning crap van,
counting
just
money,
counting out cash we've never held before in our hands like this much. It was nuts.
Fuck, that's it. I like stories like that. But they're one-offs. They're lightning.
It's that's it. Because normally we'd go, like, if we didn't have a show on a certain day, we'd go into a mall and try to sell CDs. But eventually the security guard would catch up to us and be like, hey, get the fuck out of here. We have our own merch, But this was like the West Edmonton Mall is a city.
Yeah, it's
I don't care how
massive.
many security guards you have. You don't like.
Can't be everywhere.
Yeah, and like people are, not, you never know who you're gonna bump into. This one guy looked like a complete drug dealer, like tweaking out, like I don't know what it was, but like went up to him just off chance, just as a joke. My friend almost filmed it. Just like go ask him if he wants to buy a CD. He listened. He's like, yeah, that's all right. All right, I'll give you what is it, $80. I was like, take 5. He's like, yeah, I guess so. He's like, didn't even give a shit. He just,
Look, this is worth $80. Yeah, I'll give you $80. You're like, no, you're not buying the band.
Yeah, that's it. It's crazy. But I think a transition into comedy was that like I kept having like butting heads with bands and like kind of like where we wanted to take it, what we wanted to do. I had amazing experiences meeting people, but I had a lot of fun like talking to crowds between the songs,
Okay.
To the point where I start eating up the set quite a bit. And like the guys are like, maybe do that shit on your own time. And I was like, yeah, maybe I will.
Were you joking with them? Did you fuck around at all?
Yeah, I was having fun. Just like, I felt like I was writing all these like super sad songs, and then like people would like clap and, enjoy it. But then I'd see all these bummed out faces and like, I don't do this. And I have to like kind of almost like be really silly between the songs just to like bring people back up and then bum them out again.
I didn't really kill myself.
Yeah,
it was just a song.
Still here.
Yeah.
So it was fun. It was fun. Like they're both cool experiences. I still have a little bit of a band going on the side that like we have some like an album coming out soon.
Oh, really? I didn't know. All Montrealers?
Yeah. I mean, guys I used to jam with, and we've been like best friends ever since. And like those are like some of the ones that really stuck.
What's the goal?
I mean,
do you want to tour a bit, or do you just want to release it digitally?
I mean, I think we're still working on what that goal is, but right now it's like I'd love to get back into like one step at a time. Like I'd love to get back into, once the album's done, playing some Montreal shows. Seeing what happens. Seeing how that feels. I haven't done that. Like played a music show in like 5 years or something.
What's the band called? The Cardilli's Roosters or something?
Cardilli and the Canucks.
Yeah.
No, it's the spinoff.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because it's 3 guys from my old band that like.
Yeah, it makes sense. I like names that make sense.
Yeah.
I'm very bound by logic. So I like that. Yeah. The spinoff. Okay, and
you
it's
see
all
these Oshiaga bands. Sometimes it's just like water drop in a pussy pond or whatever, and it's like.
But is Oshiaga everything? Like it could be a band. It could just be a guy on turntables. It could be all kinds of shit, right? Oshiaga, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, it could be anything.
Yeah.
Like I've never been, but like every time someone's like, I saw the most amazing performance, it's like a guy just threw spears into the audience. I don't know.
Was he singing? Well, he was making noise. It was making a lot of noise, but I was dancing.
People were screaming.
We were high too, so I don't.
Exactly.
He may have not been a singer. That may have been a security guard. I don't know. Yeah.
That's it. He just wandered onto stage.
Yeah, a lost mongoloid. It could have been him. I don't know. I have no idea. And then when was your decision made to like, let me try comedy? Like,
it was like I was working at the record label, and I was actually, the first time I ever did an open mic. I was writing. I was at that stage where you're like kind of still a pussy, and you're like, I don't want to get on stage, but like I have these stupid ideas, and I'm writing them in my phone. And then I was in California for my cousin's wedding, and I was just like, nobody I know is here, That was my original thought. Nobody I know is here, so this is perfect. I'll find like a place that has an open mic. And I went online, and we were in San Jose, and there was this place, Rooster McFeathers.
That's a great name.
I know. And I was like, oh, this must be like a cheesy little place to fucking try something.
Rooster McFeathers.
And so I emailed them, and I was like, hey, I'm in town. I've never done comedy before. I would like to try so they have like a Wednesday open mic, which is considered, it's like, I guess like the Nest, like people wait a long time to get on this open mic.
Okay.
And I told them I could bring some people probably just because I'd like my whole family there. And then I realized what a bad idea that is to bring your entire family to the first time you're gonna,
You want them far away.
Yeah. But I ended up bringing like 10 of them, and they were like, holy shit, he brought 10 people. And so they gave me even more time. Because
that you weren't ready for.
Yeah, there's like pros that go there, but they don't bring anybody, but they sign up months before.
Just to go
and
practice.
They get 3 minutes. And then I brought 10 people, and they gave me 6 minutes. And I signed up like that day before. So like there was a bit of bitterness, I think, with the comics I met. They're like, who the fuck are you? Where are you from?
You're getting like, twice my time?
Yeah. It's like,
I'm Eddie Murphy.
And it was amazing because somehow I'd say 50-60% of it landed. Shit I would never do again.
But at the time
I was like, all right. Like I talked about my cousin's
obviously, that's
wedding a little bit, and I was just like, I was coming from music. I didn't know what to do with my hands. Like I was just up there like, hey guys.
I never think, people say that to me. They're like, how do you know what to do with your hands? I never think about it. I move my hands a lot because I'm Greek, but I've never thought about it. I think if I would start thinking about it, I'd fuck up all my hand movements.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people think about it. They go, what do I do with my hands? Do you think about it, Poseidon, now that you start open mics?
No.
Yeah, I don't think about it. I think if you think about it, you're going to fuck yourself.
But I'm coming from holding a guitar
Also,
every time I talk to an audience, and
even when but now do you hold, like, did you start holding the mic or did you leave it on, like on the stand when you first did stand up?
No, I was like, I took it
and you were just like, what do I do with this one?
Like, like just like I almost hit my face with the mic 3 times just because I didn't, like I was used to having it on the stand.
It's
but
weird,
I wasn't comfortable enough to not be moving. Like I always felt like, from music, stage presence adds to the show. So I had to like do all this shit, but then stand up, it's not really necessarily like that.
Yeah, it depends what you're doing.
It depends what you're saying. So it's like, there's a lot to learn. There's a huge adjustment period, I think. But still like 20 years of experience talking to crowds, like it wasn't that hard.
You weren't
to
scared
switch into it,
I think that's
I was
barrier.
scared, but that's the thing. That's what I wanted, because after music, 20 years, I wasn't afraid anymore of music. I was just kind of bored, and then I wanted to be afraid again.
You weren't scared to not do well?
I know I was scared to not do well, especially with my family there.
No, I mean in music towards the end.
Yeah, I mean like there was a different kind of stress. It's like if ever one night I wasn't feeling like I was in control of my voice or something, I would get really stressed out and have a shitty time on stage. But that's the thing about music is like even if you don't feel like you're doing it, people generally don't notice that shit, and they're just like tapping their toe and they're like, great time, we'll come out again next time, But with comedy, it's like you invite friends, especially off the bat. You start having your friends show up because you post things, and then if you don't do well, it's like they know it, and they come up to you after, they're like, I'll see ya.
Yeah.
There's no like great job anyway. It's like
well,
it's like that.
Don't quit your day job. Yeah, I remember
it.
moments like that.
It's rough.
It took me a while to learn to not invite people like that. I knew until I get better. And then I spent years where after people were confused, like, oh, you still do comedy? Because I had taken the time to just work on myself. So I was doing all these mics. I was doing whatever I could, but I wasn't telling my immediate friends and family.
Yeah.
I didn't need them there. I needed strangers that didn't know me so I can see if my shit works.
You always do. It's like, it's nuts. Like, there's this, I still kind of, like, I appreciate when people I know come to the shows, but I still kind of hate it because it's like, especially after you've done it for a while, because you're still going to have those rough nights sometimes. Yeah. And if like the first time they see you in 3 years after seeing 1,000 posts from you being like, killing this, doing this, all
they
this
get
shit,
a bad set.
And then they get a bad set, they get a bad crowd. They don't understand that it's the crowd, even though everybody ate shit. And like, you're just like, well, with all the stuff you showed me, I thought you'd get them.
Yeah. That happened to me last week, actually. I had a fucking terrible set.
Yeah.
And I know the fans had come out, and I was in a city I hadn't been to. I've been there once before, but I hadn't done that. And it wasn't a bar set up for this kind of stuff. So they were all excited. It was a show, but it didn't work. Like, the sound wasn't working well. People were talking while you're on stage.
Yeah.
It was basically everything was set up for us to have a tough time. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, oh, fuck. I know people bought tickets excited because like, he's in my town, like French. It was in French. And I just bombed. Like my bombing. It wasn't like...
Yeah, it wasn't like...
No one booed me off stage. It was just like, meh. Because especially since I tell stories, if people are talking...
Yeah.
The pauses, bro, their pauses are ruined.
Yeah.
Because when I take a pause for effect, and then someone's like, man, that it just it was rough, bro. But it happens. Sometimes you get unlucky and you get those sets. Hopefully that's not the only sets you catch of us. But if you do, that's just terrible luck.
That's bad luck. Yeah, it's like every little thing can go into throwing off an ambience for a comedy show. You know, you can have bad lighting. You can have
the
super
ghost
high
lighting
ceilings and a super boomy sounding. It's not unintelligible. Like, back of the room can't really pick it out as much. They lose focus. Bad servers talking to the people.
Loud.
And I've seen people go to unbelievable lengths. Like there's some clubs now where they have like the lights on the tables and it's like you want a thing, it lights up, they come, you have to write out the card, you don't say a fucking word to them, you just put it on the thing, they take it, they break your drink, it's all in silence.
There's a French club that does that here in Terrebonne.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, people were telling me about it over the weekend. They go, you got to try it out. There's a little light you push, they come, you write it down so the server doesn't talk to you. They really take it serious. I don't know if the Nest changed the way they do things, I doubt it. But that would be a smart Nest move too, because the Nest has the space.
They should. They definitely should. Laugh Lounge out in Ottawa does that.
Oh,
that's
interesting.
Where I saw it for the first time, and I was like, wow, that's
Laugh
brilliant.
Lounge. I didn't know there was another Ottawa club.
Yeah, there's a new Ottawa club. This guy Nick Burden runs it. He's a really funny guy. I went out there for a roast battle.
Okay.
I won this bracket in a roast battle, and now I get to go back and I'm going to host a weekend there soon, and I got to go fight this other guy in another roast battle coming up soon. So.
Oh, that's like Ottawa guys?
Yeah, so it's like fun. It's like fun roasting people you don't even know. They send you like a little bio, and they try to set traps. just being like, it's like, I know that's already one of your jokes. I'm not going to do the same shit as you. I'm going to go talk to your friends and find out how to really get you in the spine.
I didn't know there's. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, if ever you want to do it, he's always looking for.
Yeah, I'm gonna, because I was looking to get back to Ottawa. I was gonna do a bar and just run my hour there, sell tickets. But I might.
That's a great place. You should check it out.
Yeah. Okay. I'll.
It's really cool. I'm sure you'd.
Yeah, we'll talk after the show. Yeah, it's funny because I was thinking with him. I go, I want to do English and French. I want to do like a Gatineau French and then Ottawa English type of thing. This is perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool because it's also like comic run. Like.
I like that.
It's good.
Oh, you found it? Laugh Lounge.
Nobody can see, by the way.
It's really It's got this cool like kind of Mad Men vibe,
Yeah.
It's like this is a place I'm comfortable beating my wife in. It's like we're back in the Ford.
Anywhere there's no cameras.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
How's the sound?
It sounds good. The sound is pretty good. It's like they've thought of pretty much everything. Like it is a nice space, and everyone I know who's gone to do sets there said like, man, it's just destroying. Like,
it's fun. Okay, good. Yeah, I'll get his info off you.
And they have like a pub next door, so they order food in from the pub, so you get like some good wings and stuff. It's cool.
Oh fuck! Okay, yeah, I'm gonna talk to you. I think this should be the spot if I go back to Ottawa.
It's like underground too, so you're just going like down. It's cool. Yeah, you should definitely.
I like the underground feel for comedy clubs.
Yeah,
it should feel a little bit like it should feel like you're doing something illegal.
Yeah,
it's the best. Even the third floor has kind of that because it's tight.
And it's like fancy because you could look out and you get a nice skyline. It's like it's got this like upper class kind of like feel. You're up there, you're a little dirty. It's like
there's when it's packed, there's a good feeling.
Yeah, I think there's a hooker at the bar. Like he's got that like authentic like what are we doing in here kind of vibe.
How'd you end up in a place like this?
That's it.
It's the only mic around.
It's all Bugsy Malone.
Yeah. It's all like old detectives, noir film people.
Yeah.
You've been playing a lot at the third floor.
Yeah. I mean, like me and Josh get along really well, and we try to throw each other spots and help out. Like we have I run the McKibbins around the corner, which is we do Mondays and Tuesdays. And, he does right now, I think Fridays and Sundays, and he's still working on the rest of the roster.
Yeah.
And so it's nice, like I like having camaraderie with the other producers in the city and like try to help each other out as much as possible. And, it's like you put something into the community, immediately. It's the first thing I learned is like, okay, I want to produce a show because you immediately get shit back.
Yeah, you always, yeah.
It's an easy way to not only create your own stage time, but like get way more stage time outside of it because everyone's like, oh, well, yeah, we're all like, we're all really in this,
Oh, we have no choice.
Yeah, that's it. It's like, you know how it works. Like you're more respectful at the shows because you understand, like, don't overstep. Like you're like, what it is. You're on the other side of it all the time. So
yeah.
People,
don't go over. Don't yell if you're in the back.
That's it. Like, you learn how to respect. How to be nothing. No carbon footprint at the show.
And this summer you had a good festival. What did you do? The Discovery series is called.
Yeah, so it was I did one outdoor gig, which was a lot of fun. They had the mix bus. They did we did a podcast with Renzel.
Oh, was that cool?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Did a podcast and then just walked outside and did a show for I didn't know if anybody was going to be there because we were doing the podcast. It was being broadcasted and people weren't really sitting around because they didn't, I think, understand what was going on.
Why are these guys talking?
Yeah, it's why is this bus yelling at us? And and then I walk outside and 100 something people gathered for a show. So it was me and JC Surrett and Joanna Selvaraja and Coco Bellivo hosted it, and we just did this show outside right in front of the bus, and it was great. It was fun. We all got to do 20-minute sets. It was nice.
Oh shit.
And then the next day, I was hosting the Discovery series, which is it's Zoo Fest's up and coming English comic showcase.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
And they asked me to host it, which is a lot of fun. It was really cool.
Who was on that?
It was 11 people, 12 people. I mean,
Did you know all of them?
Pretty much everybody. I mean, I had just met Coco Bellivo the day before, but
I thought she's a French.
But she did an English set. There's a couple of, I think, Renzel's doing English now too also, so he was on that as well. JC Surrett was there. Trevor Thompson, who just moved from Ottawa. He's great.
Oh, cool.
We had Michelle Forrester.
I know who Michelle is, yeah.
Yeah, she's been killing it. Michelle Furtado as well, killing on TikTok.
I know Michelle Furtado.
She's the one who does the Quebec accents and the dance videos and stuff. She's I
gotta check her. I'm not sure. If I see her, I'll know if I've seen her.
Yeah, I think she collaborates with other big TikTok people.
Maybe I've seen her
as well. And who else was on that? Lawrence Korber was there. Lawrence, of course. Joanna Silveraja was there as well. Raji was there.
I met them both. They're gonna come on the podcast soon. I met them both during one of the parties.
Yeah, they're that's this fun thing about the whole, you're going to a hotel, you're having these parties, but really what it is, it's you're all my Akeem Hoy Charles was closed out the show, the Discovery series.
Akeem, he's in Vancouver.
He's in Vancouver, but he came back to do JFL, and he's the ones we're really good friends since we started comedy. We were hitting up mics together all over, even in shitty places in the West Island, just going to anything we could find, get some stage time. And he came back and he's such a motivated guy, he's we're gonna make shit happen, sorry, I had a yogurt. He's we're gonna make shit happen. He's he'd call me at 10 o'clock. I'm I was staying at my parents because my wife kicked me out because she's pregnant, and we were gonna, and she's you're gonna catch COVID at JFL because you're gonna be out every night. So I stayed with my parents because they just had COVID. She's go kill your parents. And so
do me a favor.
Forgot. Yeah. So she kicked me out. So I stayed there for the week, which is not too far, West Island, but easy, all highway. Yeah. And but Akeem would call me 10 o'clock every day, just yo, you're gonna be at the hotel. We're gonna go to these conference. We're gonna meet these people. We're gonna do all this stuff. And I'm just I'm fucking exhausted.
He's
I'm
motivated, networking.
Night, I'm just and I'll be there at 5. And but he's yeah. So we go to the parties and I did that 2 nights in a row. We went to these parties where you show up at 11 and you snap your fingers. It's 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
but really,
that happens a lot.
You're just talking to your friends as famous people are walking around. You're just really just talking to your friends and being it's Bill Burr. Oh, it's Mark Maron. Oh, you're just
during that week or 2 weeks, this year it was 2 weeks. Everyone around me knows you're not gonna see me. I got between the shows and then just hanging out, the time flies. Sometimes I wouldn't know. It'll be 11. I'll be I'll stay for a drink.
Yeah.
And then 4 o'clock comes by and I'm fucking in the car. I go, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
Just the time flies. Because also there's a lot of people that I only see during the festivals. Or sometimes if I'm in another city, but because of the lockdowns and everything that happened the last couple of years, there's people that I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah.
So when you see them, you're how the fuck have you been and where you been? Yeah. And then the conversation just derails.
Yeah.
And you don't see the time fly.
No, that's it. It's and it's nice. It's nice. It's, cathartic to catch up with people that, see how other careers have been going or, just
you learn a lot.
That moment and see what other scenes are seeing people from other towns and talking to maybe slightly bigger comics. I like talking to the slightly bigger comics,
You can learn a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because like that's the next, they remember the next step you're supposed to take, and they're doing it right now. And it's like, that's where you learn a lot. But when you go to these like mega giants, it's really just going to be like, oh, I appreciate it. You know, there's
not much you can learn directly because someone's like, so did you get a helicopter yet? Yeah. You're like, oh, I'm not at the helicopter. I got to get booked.
I got to get the pad first
Yeah.
installed on my, the roof of my apartment, Like,
But the biggest thing I've noticed with everyone that has any type of new success now is independence.
Yeah.
It's when they waited around to get noticed or to get signed, nothing was popping off. And then the second they started doing shit on their own is when it paid off.
Yeah.
Internet videos, their own tour. And by own tour, people think when I say tour, they're like, oh, well, how am I going to book an arena? No one's telling you to go to a fucking arena.
Yeah.
A tour can be you book a different bar in different cities. Like that's what a tour is.
Well, that's the thing. It's like going back to how you said you had to get on the internet to like actually make some shit happen.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what another thing comics have to realize. It's like you have basically one of 4 avenues to make this into a career. And people are like, oh, I should just be able to tell a couple jokes and get paid a lot of money because there's people in the, like, it's like, no, it's like, this is exactly what separates the boys from the men is like, you have to take one of these avenues to turn it into a business. You're either going to go on the internet and use everything, that
as
is
your
available
billboard
to you. Exactly. To get your name out there, to make, yourself a draw to be able to do all this stuff. Or, that's it. Like coming from the band life, this is something I'm no stranger to. And I saw like, there's Eric Johnson. I don't know if you know who he is. He's a comic. I think
from Toronto.
I think he's been based in a couple different places. I think he might be out of Chicago now.
Oh, he's Canadian.
He's Canadian.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Trying to remember what he's, but we had a show from him at McKibbin's, and like he just goes across the country with his own merch, his own everything, and he like his own banners, and he just did what we used to do like with a band, he just books tours with different promoters in different cities. Like forget like Yucks and all this,
forget all that shit.
Stuff,
you don't need it.
You can make so much more money.
No, you will make more.
Yeah.
You can sell. You can have less people in the room than you would, let's say, at a Yuck show, but you're going to come home with more money because you get to keep all the money.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get a door deal at Yucks, right?
No,
You're going to get or any other comedy club. It looks like I'm singling them out, but in general.
Yeah.
Whereas if you can get asses out,
yeah,
you could get a smaller venue. I've made more money in smaller venues myself, just booking, and fans come out, than I've done with the clubs.
That's it. And it's like inspiring because like, you see them pushing on the, all the marketing, like is like on point, marketing's crazy. The, like the merch, like just having like stickers and things that you can just get a couple more bucks, and you never know. Like I saw him sell, a guy donated $100 and took 5 stickers, it's like, that's like double your money, like it happens. It's like going back to the West Edmonton Mall. Like it's not all about performing, like sometimes it's just people like you.
Yeah, exactly.
And you want to give them the opportunity to give that money directly to you.
I'm telling you, dude, that Patreon, like there's an avenue now for it. So people just want to support what you're creating. Like the stuff that I have on Patreon, let's like all the podcasts go on there first. It's all, Patreon is all people that like it's like Netflix, let's say, but for Pantelis.
Yeah.
So they like all the shit that I do, the shit that we produce around here. So they support directly.
Exactly.
They're like, well, I'm going to spend like, what is it, $5-6 a month, depending on what tier you're. I'm going to spend more than that in a day on nonsense.
Yeah.
I'd rather give it a month to an artist I like. And I do the same thing. I have like shit that I support, like artists that I like, just because it's like, I rather they stay healthy. They keep creating shit that I like instead of being stuck with whatever the fuck the CBC is showing me.
Right.
I don't look at Schultz. Andrew Schultz made a fucking career living now off his Patreon, all that, and his own special, buying it back so that he could sell it himself. He made way more money selling it himself. And he's happy. He doesn't have to answer to anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
He has his own fan base. He could book, tour wherever he wants. He books the spot and goes and does it. And it's not just him. There's so many people that do shit like that. It takes guts to break out of the system. But I'm telling you right now, the system is broken. The system doesn't work.
Yeah.
You could tour across Canada doing the Yucks. How much money do you think you're going to make? Given the fact that you're driving yourself.
I heard a really dismal figure at one point.
Me too.
I don't know if it's the same thing, and I don't want to air it, but I'm just like,
I had heard.
I got a little discouraged by
I heard, and I remember it was early on. I was like, what the fuck? That's not the life
I was like, oof, all right. I
was like, that's not the life I want to live.
Like my whole thing was the other option is like, anything you can do to be making sure all the work you do that day, instead of, going to a job and working at a call center or whatever, it's like, get out of that shit, right? Like stop
anything
doing
that's
that.
killing your soul.
Anything that's killing your soul, because it really does take away from your energy and creativity, and you could be doing something and making just as much money as that, like per day, that is actually going toward like it's all the common goal of getting yourself out there. You know, like there's like on my side, I used to produce shows, band shows, and I like knew my way around producing shows, getting venues, working with venues, you know, doing sound, doing lighting, doing like the whole system. You know, that's why I put on basically the show at McKibben's, you know, me and Sid put that on. But
because you had experience.
And he sends me out to places to put on shows too, because I bring like half my own gear and like set it up and tone the room and figure it out, because like I get that it's an ambience thing, right?
Yeah.
And that's like my avenue of like making some money is producing a lot of shows, you know? Like that's another way of...
You're making money off your energy, but you could have been making money off your energy at a call center, let's say. Maybe roughly equivalent the same money.
But there I'm setting it up, and then I'm hosting the show, and then I'm getting some stage time, and then I'm having a good time, and then I'm, you know, excited and doing it, and it's like, it feels every moment of it, even dragging tables across the floor to make sure that it's all, you know, everything's evened out and whatever, every moment feels good, you know?
I think that's why there's such a, you know, that there's a shortage of available workers right now in every field. I think a lot of people during the last 2 years figured out, they're like, I don't need, like, I never chased like millions. It was never in me to chase that. I just wanted to be happy. But I know that I have friends who that's what they were chasing. And then they realized like a couple of years ago, they're like, well, this is useless. I don't need, like, I just have to, if I'm happy, I'd rather be happy with less money in my pocket than have money in my pocket that I can't spend because I'm busy and someone's on top of my fucking head yelling. Like, let me just figure my shit out. Happiness first, health-wise. And I figured out a while ago that I wanted to go down that route. Yeah. And that's why I think there's a lot of people who are just not going back to their regular jobs.
It also gave them an opportunity, right? Because they had these jobs that they came out of school, had pressure to start these jobs, and they were like, okay, I'm set up now. And then they started those lives and then all the stuff. It's really hard to leave. You get the golden handcuffs or whatever. You know, it's like you have the expenses and all this shit. And then for some people, those jobs weren't even that good. You know, it's just like, you're just like, oh, but it's a title I can tell my friends and it's whatever. And then, you know, the pandemic comes, their company closes, they're out of a job, CERB comes, they realize, oh, I can coast on this for a year while I set myself up doing something else. And they realize, well, what if I try that thing I never try, you know, like,
but that I always wanted to.
Yeah. So it's like, it's kind of I mean, you know, COVID, like, obviously it's horrible. It's fucking annoying. We're tired of it. There's, you know, there was people dying at the beginning and like, I don't know, I guess still some people, I don't know what I believe.
I don't know what anymore. Dude, I was the most panicky person in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then as it went on, I was like, I don't know if I think I'm not the right person that should be worrying.
Yeah.
And I was like, the people that should worry, we didn't take care of.
Yeah.
And then the rest of us,
it doesn't make
who
sense.
Shouldn't be worried. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? This is so stupid. We're dealing with this in the dumbest way possible.
Exactly. We just made all, like, there was no way we were ready for navigating this.
Did you end up getting it?
The dumbest. Yeah, I got it. I had this insanely horrible cold in November. And I tested like twice. And it was not COVID, but it was the worst cold of my life because I hadn't been sick in like 2 years because I was hand sanitizing, you know, like crazy. And so like my body was like, oh, what's this shit? You know, like what do we do? It was horrible. And then I got COVID a couple months later and it was nothing. Like I know I'm probably lucky, but it was like,
no, a lot of people
took some oregano oil and like a couple
everyone I know around me got it.
Yeah.
Nothing. I'm the only one that hasn't gotten it.
You haven't?
Yeah, which is why I think it might kill me. Because on Saturday, we went to the, we saw a play in Ottawa. We took a break because we had a show at night. We went to the National Arts Center. We saw Notre Dame de Paris. But it was just the dudes. It was me, Mike, Poseidon, and Preach. And Mike's like, because I'm looking around, there was all full of people masked, not masked, like everyone's hanging out. And the whole crew, everyone's had it except for me. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to catch something today. And then Mike's like, I don't know. He goes, because all you do is you're out, you're at shows, you're shaking hands, you haven't caught it yet. He goes, like, it's not like you've been safe. Like you've been around hundreds or thousands of people every night almost for months. You don't care. So he goes, I think either you caught it and didn't know, which was my theory, or he goes, you might be one of those people that it just doesn't stick. He goes, because it's even him. He's thinking the same. I'm thinking, I'm not super unlucky or anything like that. My luck varies, but I'm not lucky enough to have dodged it for 2 years, given the amount of exposure I have with people. So I think either I caught it and I didn't know, or I'm one of those people where it's like, it doesn't do anything.
Probably had like a minor effect and then it built up enough antibodies or whatever.
Something, because it's impossible that it catches everyone around me. Because I'm panicking. Yeah. I'm like, fuck, when I do get it, it's going to kill me. But now if people are like, you probably got it.
There was a girl I read about, I forget when it was, but like she was also like, went to the doctor at one point and she was like, I've I've been like exposed to like 30 people that had COVID, and I've never catch like what the hell's going on. So they started doing tests on her to see, and they like literally took a vial of COVID and stuck it in her nose. Like she's
What
like,
a dumb bitch.
She just went to the hospital to get it. She's like, can I get COVID now, please? You know, no, but she fucking when they stuck it in her nose, and she didn't catch. Like they you know.
I have a question now.
They waterboarded her with fucking COVID. You know, they COVID bukkake, nothing.
But this is my question about the COVID bukkake. So that means that we know that, I don't know what it is. I can't say what it is. I'm not a scientist, but there's either a, I don't know, a blood type
I think
or
there's
something.
A blood type. I read there's a blood type.
So why don't they make it public to be like, guys, if you have blood, whatever, you're the ones that aren't catching it. Why don't they let us know? Clearly they know. There's enough data.
They can catch it, but they just have no symptoms.
Let us know who it is. Let us know why don't they tell us? That's the kind of shit, but I know why they don't. It's a stupid, I already know the answer, because then you're going to have a giant group of people who are going to be like, I don't want to take anything. I don't want to take your shots. I don't want to take it. And I
don't give a fuck.
And then that's when the fight's going to start. They're going to be like, well, we say you should. It's like, okay, so now you're proving that this is not science.
Yeah.
Now you're proving that you don't give a shit about science because you said I can't even catch it and you want me to get this. That's why they're not doing it. But I know there's a common denominator.
Yeah.
It's something as simple as that. It's gonna end up being something like the blood type, or because it's impossible, dude. I'm around everyone.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's hit me and it's just like, not for us.
Or you're just like the kids that, you know, grew up sharing joints since you were 11.
Oh, just like my immune system. Yeah. Like, dude, there's AIDS in there.
COVID doesn't stand a chance.
Yeah, there's so much fucked up stuff in there. When I was losing weight, it's funny. I saw a guy here who he's the guy that rents like the place to me. He hadn't seen me in months, and I've lost like 100 pounds in a year. So he's looking at me, he's like, "You've lost a lot of weight." And he's like, "What are you doing?" And he's not used to my humor, and it was in the elevator, and I just go quiet, I go, AIDS. And his face of like that, and like, no, bro, I'm fucking with you. I stopped eating sugar. I stopped eating. But it's just like his face of switching, like, oh my God. Like,
oh, that's why he was asking me the other day, what did you do to lose the weight?
For me or you?
For you.
Yeah, he thought I had AIDS, but I thought it was funny. But then he freaked out. I go, bro, I just don't eat sugar.
But because he was asking me, he was like, yo, like, but Pantelis lost a lot of weight, you know?
Yeah.
What did he do? I go, he just cut out bread and sugar. No, but are you sure? Like, he was asking.
Cut out bread and sugar and picked up dick.
I was trying to get monkeypox. I ended up with AIDS. It's so stupid.
That's funny.
Now there's monkeypox on the rise.
Is that real?
No.
I feel like that's just like,
I mean,
it
exists.
Like, what do we do with the rest of these vaccines? Let's just relabel them.
Monkeypox.
Yeah, now you're going to die of fucking whatever. You know, like that's crazy.
I think they're just trying to make fun of gay people because I saw the craziest press conference in the state where they're like, the guy's like, look, we're not saying that it's like it's gay or anything like that, but statistically, the only people that are getting it here are men who have sex with other men.
We're not calling them gay.
Yeah, and the guy's asking, he goes, so it's like, it's in the gay community. We're not saying it's gay, but like 98% of the people we have in here are men that had sex with other men. And they're like, but that's kind of what you're saying.
So priests.
Yeah, exactly. Then you have the one guy who's got like fucking on his face and he's like, I'm married. I don't know where I got it.
Senators.
Yeah.
Only senators are getting it.
Yeah. So it's just, so what I think it is it's probably you need close contact to like the infection. Mm-hmm. And obviously with sex, you're going to get it like that. And so that's what's happening. The only thing I understand is like why more in the gay community. They haven't explained that. I don't know why but it is statistically they're saying that it's gay guys are gay, but it has nothing to do with being gay. It probably has something to do with the way I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
I think it might be just like the
I think it's the up close. I think it's the proximity because it's not like infectious like but just
Well, it's just I think it's the butt stuff.
It maybe
it's just there's more injury based.
That's what. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's
usually there's not as many. It's a little tougher.
It's probably cuts. It's probably that. Yeah, it's probably cuts. Because anyway, AIDS, you're not gonna like people used to get worried. They're like, yeah, he's gonna give me HIV or whatever. Bro, unless you're fucking sharing a needle. Or hugging a dude is fucking. Not doing it.
Maybe because in the gay they're just tearing each other's assholes because it says like bodily fluids and shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, men and women too. And nowadays, everybody's fucking taking it in the ass.
Yeah, I was about to say, it can't just be the anal.
We're eating ass now. How are we not?
Someone had, I don't know if it was you, but someone had a good bit on stage that I saw about that. Like the evolution of stuff. It was here in Montreal, and it made me laugh a lot because like, it might be Shapiro. It might be Josh who talks about it. He goes, what the fuck's going on? He goes, like, we went from this is taboo to just eating people's ass with spoons.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Hold on. Direct contact from rash, scabs, or body fluids from a person with monkeypox touching objects, fabrics, clothing, bedding, or towels and surfaces that have been used by someone with monkeypox.
Okay, look, I tell you why I don't believe that.
Gay people use more towels.
Yeah, I'll tell you why I don't believe that, bro.
like, what the fuck?
Because that would be everywhere.
Yeah.
This is what they said in the beginning with COVID too, and it wasn't true. Remember in the beginning?
Remember the list? Yeah, it was like, if you ever farted on the bus, you're dead.
Yeah,
like, what
yeah,
the
it was
fuck? There's
crazy.
Everything. It's so dumb. Like,
oral, anal, and vaginal sex or touching the genitals or anus of a person with monkeypox, hugging, massage, and kissing, prolonged face-to-face contact.
I like how they have to transcribe, like, the genitals. We're talking about penis, testicle, labia, or anus, butthole.
Oh yeah, that's so funny. It's like, yeah, they have to.
For you idiot Gen Zs, it's a butthole.
General. Yeah,
anus
but
is.
that's so amazing. Oh fuck! It's like when we said genitals, we don't mean eyeballs. Like, come on, dudes. Oh, and this is the CDC. This is so stupid. Yeah, they were trying. I felt like they were making, like, the guys that were announcing were just trying to make fun of gay people. Because I was like, it's impossible. It can't just be. It's an infection.
Yeah.
It can't be a gay thing or a straight thing. It's who's ever gonna be exposed to that is gonna fucking get it.
Like how they have to like list every base too. They're like hugging, massage, kissing, prolonged face-to-face contact, talking about your feelings.
Yeah. Close talking.
Long conversations with your dad. This is how you get monkeypox.
If the virus can be spread when someone has no symptoms, what is that? Can it?
Sorry?
Scientists. Oh, they're still researching.
Yeah.
How often monkeypox?
A pregnant. I hate this fucking what they wrote right here. A pregnant person can spread the virus to their fetus through.
Also, women can give it to their baby. Oh, that's not cool.
No. We can't say women anymore,
I just did.
bro. A pregnant person.
I just did. Yeah, that's a woman.
Yeah, exactly. I know, but it's just the word. Anyways.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, women can. Oh, that's scary. I think that's the scariest thing is you
Fast forward like 3 years, it's like pregnant guys can't spread the virus to their fetus through the
pregnant guys can't get pregnant.
I feel like they're just talking about AIDS in this.
No, the way I think they just copy pasted.
Yeah, but it sounds like AIDS.
Yeah, because that's what. No, it doesn't have the same effects as AIDS. You could cure this.
Can you cure this? What is it? They have a vaccine too? They're trying to push the fucking. Oh my god.
The monkeypox vaccine.
And how is like effective? Is that like this shit where you got to take it every fucking 2 days and?
What does it say there?
It's a virus.
No, a vaccine though.
They're saying antiviral drugs may be effective in treating the
From what I heard, it does. Is there a treatment? Click on it. I heard that they have a vaccine for it.
Ugh.
It's kind of like, what is it? Is that shingles?
Yeah, it's like. I mean, it looks like chicken pox.
I wonder how did we really fuck a monkey? Is that how they started?
No,
I hope so.
Why are they calling it monkeypox?
I thought it came from monkeys. I thought we fucked monkeys. Dude, humans are weird. Human can fuck a monkey.
But isn't that like?
What's up?
It doesn't say. It just they're calling it the monkeypox virus. Oh, the virus was first identified in captive monkeys and is found mainly in tropical rainforest regions of Central and West Africa.
Yeah, it started from monkeys. So either we took it from them, like they affect us, or someone decided to bang one.
Yeah.
How charismatic was that monkey?
That was it was the gorilla
Came in with
Japan.
lipstick and I was like, God,
Dancing. He's just dancing, and they're like, "Don't tempt me, monkey."
Yeah. When people were confined over the pandemic,
That's when it happened.
that's when people started looking around. You know what I mean?
She's dressed like a monkey whore.
You should see what she was wearing.
How did the first human get monkeypox? A sick rodent imported from Ghana. What?
I don't think that's true.
I don't know.
But they fucked a rat.
Yeah, who's fucking rats, bro? That's more fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what people have to do? Stop banging animals.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna happen.
That should have stopped a very long time ago, and it still happens.
Yeah.
Goats are not safe.
I think there's certain animals we should probably stop eating too.
I agree.
You know, like I don't want to get too far into it, but it's like when you're eating.
You know, people eat horses.
Snakes and shit. It's like, you know, it's like remember, you know,
Why do we need
Adam
to eat
and Eve,
snakes?
The snake came out of the tree and offered them like a fucked up apple, and some people are just like, hold my beer, fuck the apple, I eat the snake. You know? Like, what
Snakes,
the fuck?
also snakes as pets.
Yeah.
Snakes as pets is weird to me, and I know I'm gonna get messages about this because I've already talked about it. And I remember a girl that I knew who, when she told me, I was like, we're not friends anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had a snake
Hey,
at her
I
house.
had a lizard. I don't
mind
I had
lizards.
a gecko.
I don't mind lizards, but
was
snakes, bro,
adorable.
snakes are fucking scary as shit.
Yeah.
Slithering around.
Something that wants to kill you. There's someone has an amazing joke about this. I think it might be Joe Zimmerman. Yeah, you got to check out this joke by Joe Zimmerman
About having snakes?
Having snakes.
It's
And
too
just
weird
like-
for me.
Just like the one that's like, yeah, I'll take the one that wants me dead. Like it's just like, just like unreal.
There's dogs that love you unconditionally.
Yeah.
There's cats that, whatever, they hang out. They
Remember
allow you to be in their presence.
Yeah.
Then you're going to go get a fucking snake. Yeah.
remember the girl I dated in high school that we called her Crocodile Fingers?
She had a crocodile.
No, her mom's had a snake.
She had 2 moms.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. And they had a snake?
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds like a coven of witches, that household. I like it. I like that house.
Sorry, hold on. Not her mom. Sorry, because her mom was with the judo guy. I think it was one of her aunts or some shit.
So she didn't have multiple moms.
No, she didn't.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
I made a
It's
mistake.
no longer sounding like a coven,
Yeah.
and I'm getting upset.
I
was very happy.
compensating for something with the pet. You know?
Yeah.
It's like 3 women in the household. We still need a serpent somewhere.
3 women, a crocodile finger daughter, candles, a fucking sandcastle, and a snake.
Because I remember walking into the birthday party and
Because this girl was like, his whole thing with her was fucked up.
Yeah,
It's
my-
just weirdos.
my first instinct was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I gotta leave.
I remember the first time I was
But
at
it
a
was
girl's
just like
house.
loose, or was it like
No, it was in a fucking cage, but still, bro.
It's like smacking his head against it.
No, but it's just who owns a snake?
Yeah.
The first time I was at a girl's house, I had a snake. I remember it was in the basement in the like aquarium thing, like where you put turtles normally. And I'm like, what is going on? It's like, oh, I didn't tell you. I have it. And it's it's just slithering and standing up a little bit. And I was like, yeah, this is what's wrong with you, lady?
Place is cursed.
This is absurd. This is absurd. This place is fucking haunted.
And it's like you got to feed it like mice, sometimes living, sometimes frozen. Either way, every day you start you drink your orange juice, you brush your teeth, and then you make a sacrifice.
To the god of serpents. Yeah, I can't.
That's why you're doing well on your tests. Like I don't know what it's like. It's just so voodoo.
There's a correlation here.
Yeah.
It's very voodoo. Yeah, it's not for me. Snakes are not for me. I love dogs now. Ever since I got my dog, I think they're the best thing ever.
Yeah.
They're so fucking loyal and fun, and they're happy,
unreal.
and it's unreal. And I feel like they should inherit the earth. They deserve the earth. We're not good. They're good.
Yeah, they're inherently like perfect animals. Like I got a dog over the pandemic also, but forever I was like allergic to dogs. Since I was a kid, we used to have a dog, and then we had to give it to my grandparents because I was getting asma. But I was
fuck.
also a little fat kid, and like whatever. Like
It may have been
gave
the
myself
Twinkies.
Asthma. It might have been the Twinkies
Yeah.
that I was inhaling at a rapid speed. But like we gave it up, and then I was like, oh, I'm allergic to animals. I'm allergic to dogs. Definitely cats. Like I'm very allergic to cats, but dogs.
But they have different
not
hair.
as much,
Like my dog has like human hair. Like she
Yeah.
doesn't shed.
Yeah, so that's it. Like it's supposed to be a hypoallergenic dog.
Oh, that's
but
what it's called, I
technically,
guess.
I'm allergic to the dander and the saliva, like whatever.
Oh fuck.
But like my wife was like, we were confined inside. She was working from home. She was getting really bummed out, and like, especially when things would open up, she was still home. I was going out to shows and shit. And she was just like,
I'm lonely.
It's the double D ultimatum. She was like, dog or divorce.
Oh fuck, that's not an ultimatum. They'll get you 3 dogs.
No, she didn't actually say that. But
Or
she
it
was
would have
like,
been funny
but
if you're like,
I knew that I had to like bite the bullet. I was like, fuck it, I'll figure it out.
touche.
Let's get the dog. So-
I'm not giving you half my shit though. She's like, what?
and I'm taking the dog.
You got the dog anyway. The decisions were made. I'm on team dog.
So we got this dog, and we bought it in Sorel. But honestly, it's just like being locked in and all the shit. Like it really saved our life. Like, and even just now, like going out to shows till 3 a.m, I come home like fucking exhausted, and then the dog runs up to
Yeah.
you from the bed and just like
So
jumps
happy.
off, comes to see
Yeah, it's
exhausted,
the
but
best.
comes up to you like,
It's the
thanks
best.
for coming home.
It's the dude. It changed my life. It's the best feeling. They make me so happy because they're so happy. They're so pure. There's no fuckery in them.
Yeah, no, like mine's kind of. He doesn't get along with other dogs. He's like a little Shih Tzu, and like every time another dog passes on the street, he's like, "Get the fuck away from my people!"
That's good. He's
like,
protective.
He's like freaked out. I don't know if he just comes from a quieter town or something, but he gets like really scared, really fast. So
Yeah, mine was a victim of abuse. So she had a lot of problems. Like
Yeah.
to take care. She was scared of everything. Still a little nervous, but way more confident, way more happy now. Took years of like work with her, but she's the
rewarding.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, at first, nobody wanted her. They were going to euthanize her. Yeah.
yeah.
And to see how much of an amazing dog she is now, that would have been such a waste.
yeah.
She's
Yeah,
like the
that's
perfect
thing.
dog.
But like the system just doesn't have people that are gonna do this automatically. It's like if people don't, do what you did and take a chance and put some work in and save this dog's life, then they're just like, what are they gonna do?
There's a lot of shit like that happens around town. We just don't know about it. Like DJ Yossi runs a non-profit. It's called RAD, Rescue All Dogs, and all they're doing is taking in money, giving it to these places that bring dogs in from Lebanon, from China, save them here. Try to do fundraisers, make more, and the money keeps going down to not just zero, but like minus. Yeah. So you see every like 2 weeks, like, okay, guys, we have to stop importing right now because we owe 15 G's, and then people donate and it goes back to zero. Okay, start the imports again. Like it's always up, down, always. Cause
it's amazing. It's a great.
It's huge. It's a good
initiative.
venture. It's a good initiative. There's a few initiatives that I support here in Montreal. There's Chez Doris, the women's shelter downtown. Yeah. Like there's a few. There's some stuff like I believe in like grassroots stuff. I believe that whatever we could do at the local level to help people is the best, because the higher it gets, the government, you're never going to see that money. It's never really going to help. Like we could see with the system, the education system and healthcare. So if you have good organizations in your city or your town,
yeah, for sure,
take care of them. Take care of them, because there's no better. You're never going to get treated better, and you're never going to get better work than local people doing stuff directly. Because if it's at a distance, you don't know what's going on.
And it's people that are passionate about it, because it's like they had enough passion to start this thing and see it through, and it's their baby. Whereas like people that work at some of the government, funded places, like they just went to the government to get a job.
Yeah, they don't have any connection to it.
Like, this is just my government job that it's not the same thing as the people that like want this to survive. And
we could honestly, like, between us, like people, if people take care of these types of organizations, we could keep them. Like, good stuff could come of it. It's just a lot of times, it's not even people don't want to, people are not even aware.
Yeah, it's true. Like, how do you, and are you going to spend, like, you want to spend the most money on getting dogs in? Like, do you want to spend, how much do you want to put into marketing?
Marketing, exactly.
Like, it's like it should be out there, but like the news should be covering it more. There should be more, like there should be sections where they go out and I'm sure there is, but like it's never on the front page. It's never on.
Dude, the women's shelter is a block away from the Comedy Nest, and I had no idea. I was working the Comedy Nest for 10 years, and I had no idea. I found out, like, Mike had said something one day, and I was like, where is that? And I was like...
It's like, that's why that joke didn't work.
Yeah. I was like, you mean those broads that were crying, and I was making fun of them? They were battered women? But yeah, it was just so crazy when I found out where it was. I was like, fuck, there was no, shouldn't this be advertised everywhere?
Yeah.
And then people explained to me, they're like, why would it be advertised everywhere, dickhead? Like, nobody gives a shit. Like, nobody, media doesn't care about that stuff.
Yeah.
They're not going to.
Also, it's like a women's shelter, like, you
also
don't want the guys to know where it is, like the guys that they're hiding from.
Yeah, I don't think that's the final place. I think they may have moved now, but it's like a block away. I don't know if it's still a block away from the Nest, but that's where it was last time. It was like 2 blocks away from the Nest, and you could find the address online. I'm not revealing any secrets. Yeah. You go there for help and shit. And they have like fences, cages, like for the doors. You can't walk. Like, even when we're bringing supplies, like twice I think we just brought stuff like bras or whatever anybody would need, and they don't let you all the way in. They're like, what do you want? And you drop them off, and then they take them. They're not, just in case you're some dude that's going there to break your wife or something. Yeah, because people do. People are fucking crazy. Yeah, they'll go and hunt the woman that they were beating up in front of people to go try to beat them up. They're fucking crazy. Yeah,
it's like people in your own, you need witness protection in your own city. And it's like, and these are things that are not even sometimes, it's just people admitting that they have a problem at home and going in. It's not even like the police recognize this domestic dispute and they're under protection. It's like, no, it's like these are the only people that are going to try to, like, imagine being the guy that has to stand at the door at this place.
You have to deal with
the bouncer at a fucking women's shelter, and the guy's like that must be the scariest job ever. It's all lunatics that do this.
Sir, you gotta go home. Nah.
The kind of lowlifes that are doing this to their wives.
I'm not going home until she apologizes for breakfast.
Yeah, it's like, what
it was cold. It's like, dude, you have to know how ridiculous you sound right now.
Yeah, it's scary.
Or the funnest job, depending on who you are.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Poseidon would be having so much fun. He's like, I'm gonna use that on mine. That's a good line. Yeah.
No, not like that.
At the same time,
how do you get these bitches to respect you? And then the women working there like, I don't think it's the right job for you. Yeah. Quiet, honey. I'm talking to a man. Yeah. The men are talking. And she's like, God damn it, we need better HR. How did he slip through the cracks? Crazy. You would never be able to work at a place like there now just because of how you look with the hair. You look like a lunatic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because the roots are growing back out.
Yeah.
So he looks like a mad scientist.
Today it looks good though. The hair calmed down a little bit.
Yeah, you look like a mad scientist.
Because it was very coarse yesterday, so it was very like all over the fucking place.
Yeah, you look like a very Dragon Ball-y yesterday.
Yeah, but today it's settled down a little bit.
settle down a little
Settle
bit.
down, bro.
But yeah, I always
Like he's just Super Saiyan. That's all he's saying.
he's just saying. Just saying. I always believed in like the grassroots stuff. Same thing with comedy. Same thing with music. If you could support the people that you like locally around artists, whatever,
Yeah.
they can grow and everything becomes better. We have a problem here in Montreal. I see it a lot in comedy. And from what I know from the musicians, they told me they do the same thing. It's very difficult to get support from Montrealers. For some reason, we have this weird hater culture here where as soon as you start trying to endeavor in the arts here, you get a lot of local kind of hate and dismissiveness. But if you make it somewhere else,
Yeah.
then they're
They'll
like,
bring
yeah,
it
you know,
right
he's
back.
ours. I always support him.
Yeah, it's always It's
Where other cities, they'll bring up their people there. Like, it's our product. Then they create their scene.
yeah.
And us, it's the
Especially
opposite.
small towns. Like in music, it was like there was like kids who were we talked to these bands and they're like, yeah, so we turned like 19 and we went to our parents. We were like going to go into college or we were going to like buy a van and get on the road. And we were like pretty good guitarists, I guess. And I went to my parents and I was like, hey, I think I want to be in a band. And they're like, okay, that's your business now. And like now you have to like, and then like their parents were being like, okay, do that shit. Like it will fund you for the first album. And then you do like this was a viable option in that small town because they don't have big colleges or whatever. And then these kids are like the local hometown heroes. Everyone goes to the show, packs the place every time. They go on tour. Everybody like that kind of support. We never had that in Montreal.
No,
In
here it's
Montreal,
like,
you
shut
could
up,
play
stupid.
one every 5 months and you can hope to fill the room halfway, even
Yeah.
if you're doing well. You know, it's like weird. People have to get out, and comedy is different. And this is why it was such a natural, like, okay, this is what I like. Like, you don't, first of all, there's no like 3-hour load in time. You're like,
Oh,
just
yeah.
going,
You can just
walking
show
in
up.
before your set, walking off after, like, it's just amazing. And then also, like the pandemic, I think, like what I was going to say before is like, it really helped. It actually helped. Like
It helped.
It helped.
It also
because-
filtered out a lot of shit. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
There's some of those psychos that used to be around the mics that I haven't seen yet. They haven't come back.
They didn't survive it. Yeah.
They couldn't.
I
I
think
don't mean they're not dead. I mean they couldn't keep doing these. It wasn't
Yeah.
viable, so they were forced to just live whatever life they were supposed to live.
And also, it's like
They died.
they died. It filtered out a lot of assholes. There's still some that are, you wish that.
Yeah, yeah.
They brought some new assholes.
but they're rare.
Monkeypox will get
But you know what? Those ones are
They're the
rare.
cleanup crew.
If you calculate it, you'll notice they're rare.
Yeah.
It's not like it used to be.
Yeah.
It's rare to find them now. It used to, because there used to be some fuck on the scene.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck's
Real
going on?
wackos. But actually, some of the people that you saw like hammering away for years and nothing was like actually started getting better too. Like, I don't know, just like a couple more universal experiences that we can have in our lives, and like they're coming up with more relatable material and shit. So it's like, it's pretty cool. And, but the pandemic really helped because everything shut down. And so there was that starvation to go out after, but not only was the starvation, Bell Center wasn't an option. Music wasn't an option. Dancing, none of this shit. All you could
Dancing
have
was
was
illegal
a
for a
guy on the
while.
mic on stage and people seated 2 meters apart. And so every bar came out of the woodwork being like, get us a comedy show.
Yeah.
And every person said, let's go to that comedy show. And then even though shit's back, it became
A
just
part of the
it's
routine.
back in the zeitgeist, like it's back in the options for dates, for this, for that. You get a lot of dates coming in, a lot of like students like, let's go get roasted. Our parents didn't beat us, let's let Ben beat us.
Yeah.
It's like, that's kind of like, it's amazing that it's like, it's just fully back. Like, it's just like, we have no problem bringing people out now. And
Dude,
it's always
I-
different people, some repeat customers, like, that's amazing. That's the thing. It's like, you don't need like, it's like you almost don't need a fan base. It's almost better because then you're just.
But that
like,
is your fan base.
Yeah.
What you've built and what you're building is the fan base. You don't need someone to give it to you anymore. It used to be like, I don't know, we'll allow you. The gatekeepers will allow you to make a career or not. It's not up to them anymore.
That's it.
Now it's up to how much it's you. It's quality of your work, obviously, and how much work you're willing to put in.
Yeah.
You're willing to put in more work, you'll reap more rewards.
And we get shit tons of out of towners, man. Like, it's like,
Which is the best.
Sometimes on Monday, Tuesday night, I'm asking like, hey, who's here's from Montreal? 5 people. There's 60 people there. Where the fuck are you from?
You're like, oh, I could use all my material. There's no way they've heard any of this.
It's nuts, I can do my whole 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's
between
amazing.
people. Like, this is so, it's crazy, And I think that's great for the city because I think there was a while where there was a lot of shitty random. And they were great for us. Like, we're cutting our teeth. It's fine. But like, when people come to Montreal and they're like, this is the home of Just for Laughs. Like, it should be killer comedy shows. They walk into something like, I'm sure it's gonna be a great show, and it's not. And like now, it's like there's a more often than not chance that they're actually gonna hit something pretty cool,
Yeah.
And so like we see these out of towners like at a
Or
guy
they have
yesterday.
to deal with Amber. That son of a bitch. My biggest rival.
Is he?
No, I love Hammer.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Who do we have against Hammer?
No, I
Hammer's
like
amazing.
it. That's why I bust his balls. Hammer's good. No, I'm very happy actually with the scene. I like the amount of good people that are on. There's people that make me happy. Like there's a lot of good, just nice people doing it.
Yeah.
It changed. There used to be a lot of toxic people, and then that's what I'm saying. The COVID part just filtered them out, and the ones that stuck around that were really dedicated, 98% of them are like nice fucking people just working hard.
Because you had to find a way to justify calling yourself a comic when the world shut down.
Yeah.
You know? And you're just like, fuck. So like you either have to take it super seriously or do something and
Or redefine yourself.
yeah.
I'm
like,
accountant now.
like when the first pandemic hit, I recorded an entire album of stupid songs.
Just in case. Did you ever release it? I didn't know you released that shit.
It's out. I have this album on all the
Spotify's and all that shit.
all that shit. It's called The Great Indoors.
Is it fun?
It's fun. It's
Does
like
it live up to like right now,
it's
or
like-
is it very pandemic?
It's very pandemic. Like it's that's the thing. It's like by the time I put it out, and I put music videos on YouTube and shit too, and it's like I just made all these music videos in my apartment with my wife, and she was like trying to work, and I was like, no, you got to be in this shot. She's like, fuck off.
The Great Indoors. Ben Cardilli.
But there's like different genres of every song's like a different genre. Because I just wanted to like, it was like also my just like going back into the recording studio and just fucking around with different things. But it's like, it's more about like the music videos, like put everything into context a bit better, you know?
It's on Spotify. Look at that. The Great Indoors.
Show people.
Yeah.
It's pretty, it's fun. It's fun.
I like this. Look, Ben, let me tell you something. Where do you want people to follow you? Where are you most active? I'm putting all your links in the description, but where are you most active?
I guess on Instagram. I mean, like I have
Seems
like
to be the place to be now.
Tinder, Instagram. Instagram's where I post all the shows. You know, I have like a link to not Tinder, sorry, Twitter. Okay, edit that out for my wife. You can find me on Tinder.
Look, on Tinder, I'm on Twitter. If you want the real
Look, you
fun,
take me out to coffee, I'll tell you all my
Yeah.
links.
look, if you want to have some fun, Grindr. Grindr is where you're gonna find us.
Look, I am big on social media. To say I am
That was the best.
really into connections. You gotta understand,
MySpace.
what is it, like 1 o'clock right now? This is like,
Yeah,
this is my 6 a.m.
Yeah. It's
Like,
early.
I am a
It's early.
night hawk.
I had a podcast before this.
Really?
Yeah, we had a morning podcast in French.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's a factory in here.
I can't speak French before 3 p.m. Like, there's no, like, my brain is just not there yet.
Oh, now it's in there now because I'm doing so much comedy.
Yeah.
It's like I have a thick accent, but it's in there.
That's good.
I'm ready
I
to
gotta
go.
get to that level, man. I gotta
Dude,
get
can
to
you
that
speak
level.
French?
Yeah, I can speak French.
Way better scene. Get into the French.
Yeah, I know. Like, everyone's like, I just don't know if I worry about my humor translating.
What are you talking about? Look at me.
I think I do a lot of, like, wordplay kind of shit, too.
Try it. What do you have to lose?
Yeah, I guess I don't have anything to lose.
Yeah, they just funny's funny to them. That's all they give a shit about.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're trying to comfort, they appreciate the effort. They're nicer.
Yeah, for sure. Like, one day I'm gonna like hammer down. Like, I live in Rosemont right now, but I'm moving back to NDG, so I'll lose all my French again. And I was 10 years in Rosemont learning, and I go back to NDG, and I'm gonna go
They
back
refuse.
to Letterkenny.
Yeah, they
Like,
refuse. They're
hey,
like, no.
bud. You know,
Yeah, you're
NDG's
gonna. Yeah, it's true. Like Monk and those areas.
Yeah,
Like,
it's gonna be interesting. You know,
All right,
so
well-
the people that Bill 96 are
attacking.
are attacking.
Ben Cardilli, this has been great. This has been fun. It was about time that you joined the podcast. I'm very happy to have had you here, and hopefully you're gonna agree to come back.
Yeah, I'd love to come back. This is a lot of fun, man. Thanks for having me.
Ben Cardilli.
We've built this prison cell 'cause we can't trust ourselves.